So I was listening to Patsy Cline, specifically the song Crazy, because I was going to cover it with a singer. And as I listened to it, I thought, oh, maybe that's a really nice bass line. I'll try to play that bass line. Oh, I love what the drummer's doing on the offbeats, so I tried to play some of the offbeats. And I love what the guitar player's doing. Maybe I can throw in some of his accents. And as I thought about this music more, I thought in every single bar there was a moment where every single person could be heard clearly. It's a transparent texture. It's transparent, and it means that you have to care about what you're doing all the time, but you're always making room for someone else to participate. When Patsy finished a phrase, the piano player might go off and, add some flourishes, but very short, delicate flourishes, because you don't want to detract from the song, and it's a good song. So this is one way of writing music. It's one way of structuring an ensemble so that everyone can be heard all the time, and everyone has to care all the time. At a later point, I listened to Louis Armstrong's band doing When the Saints Come Marching In. And I thought much the same thing. Although they were all playing kind of all at the same time, they all had distinctive roles to play in the music. Louis playing the tune but elaborating upon it, the clarinet player playing descant parts, the trombone player playing an active tenor part, the bass thumping away, and the drummer just keeping time quite delicately. When the singers came on, they sang background to Louis, and when the verse was repeated, they sang something different. So everyone, I guess, was invested in everything they were doing all the time. And again, this moved me very deeply because it meant that this was a collective creation where everyone mattered. Everyone mattered all the time. So you had to care about your tone. You had to care that you're at the right place in the mix. You knew where you were in the song, and everything you were doing mattered. And when everything you're doing matters, there's a deep satisfaction. I know, for example, when I used to improvise with a viola player, it was fascinating for me because viola players are used to playing accompaniment figures or the inner notes of chords in chorale, so they sometimes play the same note for a long time. And guitar players, backup flute players, and often play boom chink, boom chink, boom chink, also for a really long time. So now that one of us wanted to take the lead role all the time, but when we created accompaniment parts, we created accompaniment parts that made us happy. So no one wants to be bored when you're playing. And since we were creating our own parts for ourselves, we could keep them interesting. So we were invested in the process all the time. One would get tired of playing the dominant role and back off and pass it over to the other person. But I guess what I'm thinking about here is how important it is that everybody matters, and that everybody matters all the time. And if we had more music where everyone mattered all the time, could it change how we felt and interacted with each other in non-artistic life?